I am the greatest.
Someone with color! Someone with color! Someone with dash! Someone with color!
What is up, guys? Marcellus Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, here to educate you on health, fitness, and social well-being. Today, guys, I'm going to talk to you about a topic that I was hoping I wouldn't have to directly address, just because I've kind of mentioned this before in previous videos, but as I keep getting asked about it over and over, I'm going to address it, and that is cardio versus caloric input for weight loss, for the goal of cutting and burning fat. Cardio versus caloric input as far as, just not eating the calories to begin with or using cardio to burn it off. Now, in previous videos, as I've mentioned, and just to be clear, guys, this is not a bashing cardio video. This is not a, oh, you should never do cardio. No, let me make this perfectly clear. Cardio is very important for your overall health and longevity. The thing is though, guys, as I mentioned before in past videos, cardio is not, nor was it ever originally intended or designed for weight loss or for burning fat. It's not the end all be all for that. It's just not. It's literally for the health of your cardiovascular system, hence the name cardio. It's for, the health of your heart. It helps with your endurance, your conditioning, things like that. So you definitely should be doing it, but it's not the end all be all of weight loss and burning fat. So the reason I'm addressing this, guys, is because lately I get asked on a daily, hey, how much cardio do you do every day to maintain your physique? How much cardio do you do to, keep that kind of conditioning, everything like that? So that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm addressing this, guys. So pretty much this time around, I'm going to break it down and explain exactly why it is cardio isn't the most efficient way to create your deficit. As I mentioned before, it can definitely aid you in your deficit. Like if you're already tracking your calories, tracking your macros, and you don't want to lower your calories more than what you already have, and you want to do, 100 calories worth of cardio to kind of help aid you in that, that's great. But you shouldn't use cardio to create your entire deficit. And here's why, guys. So we already understand that at the end of the day, hopefully at this point you guys understand if you've been watching my videos, that the key to burning fat, the key to weight loss is calories in versus calories out. You have to be in a caloric deficit. The only three exceptions being if you're obese, overweight, or brand new to lifting and doing a body recomposition, then you can, burn fat and build muscle at the same time. But for everybody else, if you're not in one of those three exceptions, if you want to build, you have to be in caloric surplus. If you want to burn, you have to be in caloric deficit. So think about it this way, guys. If we know that ideally, ordinarily 500 calories under maintenance is your caloric deficit, that would mean you have to do 500 calories worth of cardio to create that daily deficit every day. So on average, people burn about 100 calories if they run a mile. So 1 mile is about 100 calories on average. I say on average just because you have to consider things like how much the person weighs, their individual metabolism, as well as things like, okay, did you run most of the mile? Did you walk most of it, jog? All those things go into factors, but on average, 100 calories per mile. So if you run 5 miles and you burn approximately the 500 calories, that would put you in your deficit. Well, that's not optimal for a few reasons, guys. Number one, doing that much excessive cardio every day isn't going to help you with holding onto your muscle mass. Like if you're cutting and you're trying to burn fat but hold onto your muscle mass, it's kind of the whole point of a cut, then that's not going to help you with maintaining that muscle mass just because there's excessive amount of cardio. Two, you have to keep in mind that, I don't know about you guys, but after doing that much running, I myself would get pretty hungry. So chances are you're just going to go and eat back the 500 calories that you burn. You may even eat even more because you're even hungrier than what you would be normally because you did so much cardio. And then the third thing, here's the real kicker, guys, here's the main thing, think about it. The only way that would work, the whole 500 caloric deficit thing, by running it out, is if you already know what your caloric maintenance is and you're already making sure that you're eating exactly at maintenance and then doing the 500 calories worth of cardio. Well, think about it, guys. The only way you can do that is if you're tracking your calories and your macros anyway. So if you're already doing that, it makes a whole lot more sense just to not eat that 500 calories in the first place to get you in that deficit than to make sure you eat right at maintenance and then try to burn off an extra 500 calories. So you see what I'm saying? Since you have to track your calories regardless for even, making the deficit through cardio to work, why not just track your calories and make sure you're eating at that deficit number anyway instead of eating at maintenance and then trying to burn off the extra? You get what I'm saying? That's why it's just not as efficient. It's not as optimum because it's a lot easier to just not eat it in the first place than to go and try to burn it off. Plus, like I said, guys, that means you would have to do that every single day. To keep that deficit going, you have to make sure you're doing that every single day. And plus, like I said, it's not an exact math or science in terms of, okay, yeah, you burned 500 calories because you ran 5 miles. It can be a little bit more, a little bit less. And then you get people get caught up in the whole idea of, okay, well then I'll just run even more so I can eat even more, and it just becomes a huge mess, guys. Ultimately speaking, you don't have to do any cardio at all to create a deficit. That's the thing. You can do it purely just from your caloric input. It makes a whole lot more sense to focus on the caloric input than to try to focus on the caloric output where you're trying to burn, more than what you're eating, just because that's not very optimal. It doesn't really work all that well. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the breakdown of why that doesn't work. So like I said, if you're already in a caloric deficit and you don't want to lower your calories anymore, so you do about 100, calories worth of cardio to kind of help it speed up the process. Let's say if you hit a plateau or something like that, that makes sense. But to create an entire 500 calorie deficit through cardio, it's just not optimal. Now mind you, I'm not saying you can't do it. I've explained that you can do it. You still have to track your calories regardless to make sure you have maintenance, so you can do it, but it's simply not optimal. And keep in mind, guys, when I say optimal, I'm simply speaking in terms of efficiency and what is scientifically considered to be, the best and most applicable. If that's what you want to do, go for it. At the end of the day, so long as it works, you can do it. But it's kind of like the same concept as the bro split. Yes, do they work? If you progressively over, will you still put on size and gain strength? Yes, but it's just not as optimal as a program or split where you're hitting your muscles twice a week. And then as far as the whole, how do I maintain my physique, guys, it's as simple as that. Caloric input, and then you guys have to keep in mind like how long I've been lifting, how long I've been working out. I have years of muscle mass, guys. First of all, I'm not as lean as what a lot of you think. A lot of you guys probably think I'm like 10% or lower, but those of you who've actually seen somebody, a natural who's 10% or lower, you know that I'm not that lean. I'm probably somewhere between like 12 and 15%, maybe like 13, 14%. But when you have years of muscle mass on you, then you can have a little bit more fat on you and still have kind of that lean look, that aesthetic physique, versus someone who maybe is 10% body fat, but they don't have a whole lot of muscle mass on them, and they usually don't look, the way that I do, or the way that someone who's viewed as more aesthetic does. Not to toot my own horn or anything. No, but so seriously, that's the thing, guys. That's all it comes down to. I control my caloric input. Like I said before in previous videos, I'm at maintenance right now. So I just make sure that my calories don't go into surplus. So my physique's gonna stay right where I want it to be. And then with, like I said, with more muscle mass, you can afford to be at a slightly higher body fat percentage and still look a certain way. That's pretty much it, guys. That's all it comes down to. This whole, cardio is the end all be all. You have to do cardio to lose weight. It's not true, guys. I don't even know how that's still a thing. I know that what's unfortunate is there's still personal trainers out there. There's even people out there with a kinesiology degree or exercise science degree like myself who will preach that cardio is the key to weight loss. And guys, it's not. It's very black and white. It simply is not. You can lose weight without doing any cardio. Fact. That's just how it is. It's just like progressive overload. Hate it, love it. It's just the way it is. The key to losing weight is calories in versus calories out. And the most efficient way to do that is to simply be in a caloric deficit through your diet. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope I didn't seem too, just harsh and upset. Like, I'm definitely not upset with all the people who've been asking me questions about it. It's just, I don't know how to make it any clearer than that, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing, guys. A big takeaway from this is don't get so caught up in what you know and what you've been told for so long to where when new information is presented to you, you just kind of reject it. You're just like, oh, I just can't believe that. Like, just research it, guys. Look it up. That's something I'm trying to help you guys learn to do with your channel too, is question me. Go ahead, question me. Look up what I'm saying. Test it, look at the science behind it, and see if it's right. Learn to filter through, the BS, what's trash, and then what's actually valid information. But that's also what I'm here for, guys. That's what my channel is here for. So with that being said, if you guys have any more questions, you already know, leave a comment down below, like the video, share, subscribe, and as always, keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch y'all later.
I am the greatest.
Someone look color. Someone look